Today I'm going to tell you a bit about oral history, including what it is, why it's important, and how you can use Special to Us to record the stories you want to preserve. Oral history is defined as the collection and study of spoken testimony from people who were actually there. Essentially, it's a way to learn more about the past by asking people who lived through it to describe their experience. These stories can often reveal more about the specifics of an event than just an official textbook. It's the difference between reading about a Beatles concert and asking your aunt who was actually there what John's hair looked like. So the essential part of any oral history is an interview. Now that you know why oral history is so important, the next step is learning how to conduct, record, and preserve interviews. Luckily, with Special to Us, it's incredibly easy to record and preserve interviews. For more information on how to do this, check out our video on the voice record feature of our website. So, to conduct a good interview, there are a few things to take into account: who you're going to interview, what you want to talk about, and how to steer the conversation. In order to have a focused discussion, it's a smart idea to have a concrete starting point. Think about what they might have lived through or seen. Maybe you have some specific family stories you'd like to preserve. A photograph is an excellent way to focus a conversation, especially if it's a photo that the person you're interviewing was somehow involved in making. It's good to be prepared in advance. Try to think of a few questions before you start talking. Consider going over the questions with your interviewee beforehand, so they have an idea of what they want to say. After you've decided who you're going to talk to and what you want to talk about, then you're ready to start your interview. However, sometimes it can be difficult to get the conversation started. Luckily, there are a number of techniques and frameworks you can use to guide an interview and steer it towards useful topics. An important part of any interview is the type of question you're asking. For this video, I'm going to single out two types of questions: closed questions and open questions. So closed questions are those that can be answered completely very fast and don't require any further elaboration. So essentially a yes or no question. An open question is one that invites the person being questioned to really expand on the topic. So an example of a closed question versus an open question is asking someone if their day was good versus how their day was. So I ask someone, was your day good? And they can just say yes. And then the conversation is over. Maybe there's an awkward silence and we're not really going anywhere unless I think of another question to ask or they're feeling chatty. If I ask someone how their day was, of course I do run into the risk of someone saying fine and leaving it at that. But it's an open question model, so they have the opportunity to really talk about something and really go into their personal experience and bring out new information I haven't heard before. So this holds for interviews. I can ask a closed question during an interview. I can ask if it was hot when this picture was taken, or I can ask what the environment was like. The two questions lead in very different directions. It's fine to ask closed questions to get specific pieces of information, but if you really want to get the conversation going, go for an open question. If the person you're interviewing is shy or maybe not very talkative, try starting your interview with easy, fun questions and let the person you're talking to run with them. Sometimes a certain subject will just get people going. Remember, most people love to talk about certain things, and the trick is just finding what it is. If you're trying to broach a difficult subject, start out with easier, open-ended questions to make the person you're interviewing more comfortable with talking and help them get over any initial shyness or discomfort. These are some initial tips to get you started on your oral history interviews. And just keep in mind, oral history doesn't have to be about something that happened 60 years ago. It can be something that happened 2 years ago or something that happened today, as long as you're recording it and documenting it for the future. So you have all this newfound knowledge, go out and get an interview. Thanks for watching.